But I think...
You! And don't think!
What is up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the best action movie ever made that no one talks about, and let's just get into it. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it, or you just don't really care about spoilers, then go ahead and watch. This is The Kiss of the Dragon, released in 2001, directed by Chris Nohan. So Jet Li arrives in Paris and takes the cab ride to his destination, and the cab driver is listening to some pretty cool tunes. We get to see some Paris scenery, and then he arrives. And when he arrives, we still don't know why he's there. He told the airport person that he's there for pleasure, but then he takes a weapon out of his baggage and you're like, what the hell is going on? Who is this guy? Then he arrives to the hotel. Everyone's keeping an eye on him. He goes to the bar. Some British dude has a nice conversation with him. And then all of a sudden...
Men's toilet now.
At first, I thought he was trying to get at him, but it turns out he's with his contact. Then we meet Inspector Richard and he's beating the living shit out of someone before he even says hi. But right when you meet him, he comes off as a nice, charming guy, but there's this weird vibe to him that you're like, okay, this guy's not normal if he gets mad. Then it turns out that Jet Li is a Chinese policeman that's helping out the French authorities try to arrest a Chinese mob boss. And then when the Chinese guy arrives, he gets assassinated by a hooker. Then it turns out that Inspector Richard was trying to frame Jet Li for the murder of the mob boss because he told the hooker to assassinate him. And this is where the movie really starts. Inspector Richard and his homies are trying to kill Jet Li. Then Jet Li goes and steals the cassette showing Richard killing the hooker and the mob boss. This laundry scene is absolutely incredible. Richard is such a great villain and he has way too much fun being evil. Also, calling someone a piece of shit is one of my favorite insults, so every time I hear it in a movie, it just makes me feel good.
Down, you piece of shit!
Also, this guy is so dumb for putting his whole body weight on top of Jet Li, cause Richard literally lighted the shit on fire and he sees that there's steam coming up. So why would you put your whole body in there if there's literally a fire in there and you might get burned to death? Gee, I wonder what happens to him. And we get an amazing action sequence where Jet Li beats the living shit out of everyone. I love the way Jet Li uses his surroundings during these action sequences. Anything in the vicinity he uses as a weapon. It's incredible. And as Jet Li is trying to escape the hotel, he sees the British pilot dude that he talked to. Turns out that this dude has a whole Call of Duty loadout in his suitcase. Bro is dual wielding big ass SMGs with extended mag, and this dude just starts spraying everything until Jet Li kills him with a pool ball. And one of Richard's minions tells him that Jet Li took the cassette, and he responds very well.
Machine.
Then we see a meeting between the Chinese leaders and the French police leaders. And I love the fact that Richard comes off as such a nice, charming, self-deprecating guy, because like no way anyone would think, yeah, this guy is one of the bad guys, this guy is behind all of this. No, you're like, this guy's a really nice guy, he really cares about the greater good of humanity, and he's doing everything in his power to actually resolve this issue. But obviously we know he's a piece of shit. I love this shot as Jet Li's friend is describing his background and the camera is zooming in on Richard's face as he slowly realizes what kind of shit he's in, and he's like, oh my god, dude, really? This is what I'm dealing with? You can definitely see the panic on his face.
Top in all his classes at the academy. He's been decorated for bravery in the line of duty 6 times. He is our best.
And then we see Richard scold his men, which is hilarious. I also love this transition.
50 men on the street and you can't find this son of a bitch! So put on a wig and a kimono. I don't care how you do it. Now get out! Get out!
Then we meet Jessica as she comes in and asks if Richard could hold up to his promise that he would let her daughter go if she just did one more last job for her. Richard has a interesting response.
You don't tell me when you gotta quit! I tell you!
There's very few topics that get me as emotional as trafficking, and this scene really got to me. The music in the background definitely didn't help. I get very emotional during this scene. Then Jessica gets attacked, then she breaks her nose, then Lupo beats the shit out of her. Then she asks Jet Li if she could use the bathroom, and Jet Li says no, but since he doesn't want any unwanted attention, he just gives her a minute. Then she falls asleep in the bathroom.
Miss, I'm sorry for hitting you.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Then Jet Li gets contacted by his friend for a meeting. And these fools have a meeting at a ferry. Like, there wasn't any other places to meet up that would have more privacy and not be out in the open. Then Jet Li's friend gets quickscoped, and then we have an amazing action scene. Jet Li shoots this guy in the nuts. Then he beats up a SWAT team with a scooter. Also, Richard's always pushing people around even when they're not even in his way.
Get out!
Bro has issues.
Will this be a problem?
With a billion of them, do you think they'll miss 1 or 2?
Then we have an emotional moment with Jet Li and the store owner that really got to me.
I've received 5 of you young men. 4 have died. The last one right in my arms.
I would like to send one home alive.
Then Jessica comes in and stitches Jet Li's wounds up. Then Lupo runs up on her. And this action scene is great. I love the music, and I love the part when the boxer comes in, the hook of the song resets for him. It's so sick. It's such a great intro. But I have to be careful to not get copyrighted when I show you these clips. Then we have a great fight between Jet Li and the boxer, and the reason I love this movie is Jet Li wins fights because of his fight IQ. He realizes that if he boxes with this dude, he's gonna get killed and destroyed, so every single time he hits this dude, he always hits his legs before he gets in there. Every single time that Jet Li lands a blow, he attacks his legs right before, except for one time where he finishes him. Then some Kim Kardashian looking chick calls Max to come and handle this. And Max literally has an armory in his car. Then Max just starts spraying everyone and he kills the old guy, which, oh my god, made me so sad. And the music, oh my god. Jet Li and Jessica escape, and Jet Li finds out that Jessica was also there in the hotel incident. They make a deal that if Jet Li saves her daughter, that she would testify against him, and they make a deal. She also finds a way to trick Richard so he leaves and she could steal the cassette and escape. Then they go to the building and try to find her. I love this action sequence because there is no music. I love the shots and the panic is real. And then she gets capped. Then Lee takes her to the hospital. Then Jet Li goes to Richard for the big showdown.
He's coming up.
The panic in this man's voice is hilarious. Imagine you're just doing your job and then you get knocked out by your own flag. And as Jet Li is trying to make his way to Richard, it turns out he went the wrong way. This scene is absolutely incredible. I love the fact that the camera is so smooth. There's no quick cut edit. Like, you can actually see what's going on, and they actually try to jump him instead of going one-on-one. Then we get to the boss fight. This is one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in my life. And I love the fact that the music really starts once he gets into his fight stance. It's so epic. And this fight's crazy. Jet Li's getting jumped, getting absolutely destroyed. And this movie has one of the coolest fight moves I've ever seen, is when Jet Li counters the other dude's head kick and kicks him in the head himself. It was so amazing. Then he starts using his fight IQ and recognizing fight patterns, and that's how he wins. He realizes that if this guy can't kick and use his legs to keep a distance, that this guy can't really fight, and Jet Li can box the shit out of him. See, he uses his environment to his advantage, and then the way he beats him is by recognizing that every single time he catches his kick, he does that stupid backflip shit. He recognizes that, and that's how he takes him out. In generic action movies, when the hero's losing, they cut to a montage of him training, and all of a sudden he turns into Bruce Lee and fights better out of nowhere. Then after he kills the brothers, he goes after Richard. And Richard has one of the most satisfying deaths I've ever seen in any action movie. I definitely can't show it because it's just so bloody. This video will get taken down. Then he returns the daughter to Jessica, and then we have our ending. And there you have it. I love this movie so much. This villain is absolutely amazing. One of the best villains in my opinion. The actor, this is his name. I didn't want to disrespect him by mispronouncing his name because this man deserves all the respect in this world. I want to see this man in more movies. I loved him in The Patriot as well. And he absolutely stole this movie. Richard is such an amazing villain. I also love the mini bosses in this movie. We have the British guy with the SMGs, we have Lupo, we have Max, we have the brothers, we have the boxer. Amazing villains all around. And Jet Li and Bridget Fonda did an amazing job as well. Also the store owner as well, he's amazing. I love pretty much everything about this movie. I love the music. There's so many great soundtracks in this movie. Also, this movie has a special place in my heart. This is the very first movie I've ever seen when I came to America. It has a very soft spot in my heart. It's very nostalgic for me and I love it. Even if I watch this movie today for the first time, I will still love it as much as I do right now. Alright guys, let me know what you guys think is the most underrated action movie of all time. What do you think about Kiss of the Dragon? And like and subscribe, and if you don't, then Richard will push you. Bye.